Yates, and I was very pleased to be included in the Nest project, and it's been a real mind-expanding adventure.
Are you normally a sculptor?
I've done some metal sculpture, smaller scale, and just stretching my wings and finding out what's possible.
How did the Nest Project inspire you, or did?
Actually, the Nest project is through Jan has really inspired me. I mean, I sat down. I'm not ordinarily a writing individual, but I actually sat down at the computer and wrote out a bunch of stuff. It just kept rolling off, and I've actually entered a written piece along with the art piece. And it's amazing if you stop and think about how much we actually do nest. I mean, there's all different forms and all different styles, whether it's in your home or at your cubicle at work or in your studio. It's all across the world. I think we live on one giant nest as the Earth. We're all on higher levels at some points, disagreeing with each other, but at the root level, it's amazing how much we are similar. And if we were to think of it on a real basic level about how much we do nest, and it's similarly, even if we're cross-cultural or cross-country, or it's really amazing how far your mind can go with something like that.
Can you talk about your pieces a little bit?
I can. One of the first pieces I made was the fire nest, and it just took on a shape of its own. I wanted to do something. I had some materials lying around, and I wanted to do something that was different that I hadn't seen before, and I came up with the fire nest. It's very structurally sound. It's very ornamental and visually pleasing.
What's it filled with?
It's filled with beaver sticks that were found. They're discarded, chewed-on beaver sticks, not from a lodge or anything, but they're found in a log jam by Jan and I. And we picked up some stray pieces, and I brought it in the beaver sticks and put on some moss. There's two different types of moss, and there's some elements from a smoke tree, and it seemed to be the right fitting for the fire nest.
So can you talk about the other piece?
I can. This is nestuary, and which is a combination of nest and sanctuary, which, I mean, it seems nothing could seem to me anyway more natural because your nests are a sanctuary, whether you're by yourself or with friends or family, place of peace and safety, and it kind of embodies everything. This was a piece, it's a maple tree that was on my property. I had seen it previously about 2 months earlier. I knew about the Nest project, but really hadn't gotten into gear with it yet. And I noticed the woodpecker hole in the front of this. It's a dead maple tree. And I looked at it and studied it. I said, wow, that's really interesting. But some weeks later, I noticed when I walked by, I looked up at it, and the sun shone through the hole in the tree. The sun shone right into my eye, and I realized that there was an opening on the back. I'd never seen it. It was very elevated, and I hadn't seen it before. So I immediately got a ladder. I climbed up there and discovered that the branch that was on the back of the tree had exposed what was a one-time woodpecker's nest. There was moss growing in the bottom of it, and it was a nice, soft, warm, fuzzy, kind of goosebumpy moment. And then I started studying and noticed all the wormwood etchings and all of it, and it's like a whole other language. I mean, kind of hieroglyphic. It speaks a lot of different things in a lot of different languages, and it's a nest of many things. The moss, the nest itself that's inside, the bugs that made the little tracks and the hieroglyphic type, the little lines in it, and it was very natural. I harvested it from its original setting before it blew down. I didn't think it was going to last much longer, and came up with a shape for the base that was not only sound, but something that felt like it belonged. And it was just, sometimes the ideas and thoughts just come right from the mind to the material. And it's been a hit. It's got the moss on it. I'm very pleased. I'm very flattered. I'm a little embarrassed, but I'm enjoying it. I've never done a theme show. This is actually, I'm very new at this. I was going to say a little, but I'm actually very new at this. This is my first showing of anything. I've sold some other smaller pieces, so I feel very blessed that to have the opportunity. And I, again, have been inspired by Jan and this nest project, and I think people take the time to think about how much we do have in common and what is actually a nest. It doesn't have to be something that's fuzzy lined or made by a creature in the woods or something in your backyard. We all, as people, as humans, make nests. It's worthy of some time to ponder on.
Yeah, I have two pieces in this show. One is a painting here called The Cosmic Nest, and it relates to the area beyond us, basically, and a relationship to the honoring of ancestors as the nest of continuity in regards to the human race. And so the painting is of actually integration of an Aboriginal, an American Indian, and myself in regards to sort of outer space and inner space. The other piece is a ceramic piece. It's done in the Onagama firing process out at the Dragon Kiln at Richard Rowland's in Astoria. Yeah, this is just a sort of springboard show. We have a seed show right now at the Newberg Library, which is a small show showing various nests, from beaver nests to turtle to bird. A lot of different kinds of ideas about nest and nesting, meaning taking the noun and making it a verb and thinking a little different in relationship with the concept. And then we'll have a show that will be at Accolades in McMinnville, and then in November there's a show at Glenn and Viola Walters Cultural Center in Hillsboro. October 25th there's a show up at our place with more of the land art and the environmental nature to the Nest Project.
What prompted you to have the Nest Project here?
Jan Shield approached me about the Nest Project and thought that this would be an appropriate place to hold it, and I was really excited about having it here. So here it is.
So the show's been open since the 1st of October. How's it been? Have you got a lot of visitors?
There have been a lot of visitors to this show. We did send out a lot of postcards to our mailing list. Plus, with this number of artists, each telling their customers, we ended up with a lot of exposure. And there has been a steady stream of people that just have come in off the street, straight upstairs to the gallery to see this show. I like the multiple artists and all the different mediums, and it gives some people a lot to look at and a lot of different things to see when they're looking at art, and hopefully they'll find something that they like when they come up here.
Hi, my name is Nisha Roman, and I found out about the Nest Project when I went to the Horse Radish show for the first one, and I read a piece by Randy, and that inspired me to become part of the Nest community. I work with magazine collages, so these are all cut out pieces from magazines, and I enjoy creating my own world in them. Okay, this is, there's a lot of nests in there. The nests don't necessarily go with the type of creature they're with, but they're all, different kinds of nests. There's 8 critters in there, and they all have little homes close to them.
Good.
So I just like to see the little nooks and crannies that people can find and critters can find. It's kind of like an animal suburbia. It's a process piece for me, and so it taught me a lot. It gets me thinking about my home and what I want out of my home in a different way, since I have moved a lot, and what might be exciting. And I like things to be a little different, a little unusual. I had not ever thought about really doing themes. I normally just do kind of what comes up. I start looking through my extensive materials and I see what pops out, and then I kind of work something around it. So I have some different things in process. Sometimes the landscapes are kind of bleak, but then there's creatures in them that bring life to them.
My name is Mona Cavolius Ward. And you have a piece in the Nest Project? I do. I have a mixed media box right here. It is a box that holds a nest. And my idea of nest is probably not a traditional idea of nest. Nest sometimes might be a more positive thing, like a nurturing thing. And I'm sort of looking at nest